is over. On behalf of all South Africans, I welcome you all. It is now my privilege to declare this the 1996 African Cup of Nations tournament open.
Let me talk to you a little bit now about who's in the studio with me, and with Madiba's words ringing in our ears of how he opened the tournament in '96. I've got Glyn Binkin, who known today as an agent, but we're not even doing that today. We're talking about you as the team manager of the team in 1996, as well as Dr. Ramathesele, Doc, team doctor of the team in '96. I don't even know where to start. Team doctor, team manager, who gets to get the first opportunity to speak? What's protocol?
Age before beauty.
Oh. So, Doc, let me start with you.
I'm good anytime.
As the team doctor,
yeah.
I go back to '96. Key moment. What was that key thing for you as a team doctor in the team? How did you change the tournament? How did you make an impact on how we won this thing?
Well, you know, we're sitting just before deciding the final squad that was going to be in the tournament, and that was one of the most difficult meetings.
So you sit in that meeting?
I sat in those meetings.
The Clive and the technical team,
Clive and the technical, this one yes,
this one no, this one yes, no, yes.
It was a very difficult meeting in the sense that it took us 5 hours to finalize the squad. And it was at that meeting that we had to drop the two Steves, Steve Crowley and Steve Compella, who was captain of the team at the time. A very difficult decision, you've got to agree. People who had worked so hard to get the team to where it was, and then they couldn't make the cut. Then we stopped at the one player, Lucas Radebe, who had not played for Leeds since April, and now we are in December, because he had an anterior cruciate ligament injury, which is a career-threatening injury.
So his knee is broken?
His knee is broken. He has not been playing for Leeds since April. He's only featured in a game or two in the reserve leagues. And we're at the point where he's saying, look, if he's not played for that long and we are coming into an important tournament like this, we might as well drop him. And Clive Barker had a different view. He said, I'm not going to take reports from newspapers. Doc, you fly out to Leeds, check Lucas for us, and give us a decision.
And when he says Doc, he's not saying Doc Kumalo. He's saying Dr. Ramathesele.
Of course I grumbled, because I would have had to travel to Leeds on Christmas Day to watch a game that was going to play on Boxing Day out in Leeds. And of course I grumbled, and he said, and this is what, when you played the Madiba clip, it reminds you, because he said to me, Madiba spent 27 years in prison for this country. You can't spend one Christmas away from home, you got to be mad. And then I made the decision. Then I went to Leeds, and I was picked up by Lucas's girlfriend at the time, and he just said to me, Bra Victor, whatever you do, you must take Ntoba with you back to South Africa. I checked him, I wasn't convinced. I spoke to the team doctor, we were not convinced. We felt that he's not ready, he has not played, and the knee had not been tested. But I took the plunge. I said, Clive, he's ready for that.
Thumbs up.
He's ready for
Uriska country for what? What was the reason to give us
the reason why? You
said you're not convinced, and yet you still tell the coach.
Yes. You said I must tell a defining moment. Let me tell you why I did it. The issue was that when you treat injuries, you're not looking at the knee, you're looking at the total patient. Lucas here is very strong, my friend. He can play through a broken knee, and I'm convinced, and I'm sure wherever he is, he will agree with me.
Glyn, I mean, you know Lucas very well. As the team manager then, first I have to introduce this thing, that everything on the table, the balls, trust you. The team manager, that's his job. He picks everything, he makes sure everything, and you've kept all of this. These jerseys, this is you. You've kept all this memorabilia?
Yeah, it was a significant moment in my life, so memories are important, and important to preserve memories.
Please pick that up. Please pick up that jersey, because I think a lot of the viewers don't see what you've actually been bringing here. That is the actual match jersey, one of them that were used by Doc Kumalo. There's another one here by Linda Buthelezi. There's another one, Lucas Radebe. They're all the original. People will cut off your arm to try and get one of these.
And this one's also very special because it's signed by Madiba to me as well.
Hold it up, let's see there. The camera will get a nice shot of it. So that signature at the bottom there says it's from Madiba.
The one is Dr. Kumalo and the other one is Madiba.
Wow. You have the memories. Even the match ball there, signed by everybody. That is amazing. Sitting on the table, match ball, everyone signing it. But team manager, what's your job?
Tom, before we carry on, I think at this moment, obviously, it's all about the celebration, but I think it would be remiss of us to forget about two significant people who are no longer with us, who were very much part of that team. The late Sizwe Motaung and John Moshweyo. And in answer to BBK's earlier question, the big security guard who was always very close to Clive was a gentleman by the name of Mlambo, who unfortunately also is not with us today. So it would be remiss of us to forget about those people. But as we look to 20 years to the future, and from the day of the tournament itself, we have fond memories. I think the most important memory for me was what a bond we had with the team. Everybody was part of a bigger picture. No person thought they were bigger than anybody else. Everybody had a common goal, and that was to win the African Cup of Nations despite all odds.
I hear a secret though, that your hotel bill, you had the biggest bill for watching adult movies.
But I have to clarify this. I have to clarify this. So basically,
96 Glyn Binkin's bill in his room were adult movies. That was you were the king.
Okay, so I have to clarify this because the team were responsible for their own extra accounts.
Each player had to
pay their own extra accounts. And the officials had the luxury of, or the benefit of, the Football Association paying for our bills. So, of course, as soon as I walked out of my room, there were 3 people coming into my room, making phone calls.
Because your room was paid for. So your room was paid for by the association.
They called it motivation.
Motivation, yeah.
So they come in and they say, so who was the main guy coming in to watch these movies?
Probably the one who told you about me, who's going to be on the show a bit later.
Oh, so it's one of the guys out here. Yeah. We want to find out who the main guy with those adult movies were.
Guys, what happens in the camp must remain in the camp. I'm very critical.
Yeah, you see, there's Linda smiling. Maybe it's Linda. Linda, who movie? I can't wait to talk to Linda a little bit about that. But Glyn, I still want to get to what is your job? The doc's job is clear. He has to make sure everyone's healthy, tell Clive lies about injuries not so bad. We can carry on. What was your job?
So my initial job pre-tournament was to engage with the international clubs and the local clubs to send the call-up letters through the association to the clubs to advise the players of their call-up. Once the players arrived in camp, my job basically was to make sure that each day ran smoothly, that the logistics and plans were in place for the players to be able to train, have their meals, attend meetings, whatever that entailed.
Put your brains together. Were we ever in a moment where we had a crisis? Maybe people outside didn't know, but was there ever a crisis in camp where you know, there's a story we don't really know about now that you look back?
Maybe there are people who won't be very happy that I say this, but you know, after in the tournament itself, we won against Cameroon. The second game we beat Angola. The third game we're beaten by Egypt. Now we're going into the semi-finals. Now some senior players, quarterfinals, I'm sorry. Some senior players were quite concerned that we had lost to Northern African opposition.
And the next game.
And at that time, Jomo Sona had left camp. Now some players came and they wanted to speak to the coach and said, listen, we need Jomo's wisdom, because after we had played Cameroon in the first match, he drove to Bloemfontein to watch Algeria playing against the Burkina Faso, I think it was. So they felt that intelligence that he has and you know, how he could assist us in playing against Northern African opposition, to which we had already lost, was very, very crucial. And Clive said, look, the guy has walked out of camp. If you guys can call him back, then, you know, I don't have a problem. They went to Phil said, look, guys, I'm hearing none of it. And you know what? Where they went next? They came to my room. I said, you are team doctor of Cosmos. You are the only man who can get this. We need this man's wisdom to play against Algeria. Because those senior players were quite worried about Algeria, that we had not studied them. And
so you brought Brajay back?
Actually went to his house, rang them, and he didn't answer me. But I said to his wife, I said, Ospuling, I'm here to see Jay, and this is the message that I got for him. And then I got him to meet with Clive, and he came back into the camp. And I think his planning and his contribution to that actually helped us to beat Algeria, but not taking anything away from the rest of the technical stuff. And of course, the hard work that the players put into that.
I love that story. Glyn, I need one final thing from you. From the team manager's perspective, you told me everyone pulled together. What was the cause of that? What was the reason that everybody was so focused on the goal of bringing this trophy and making sure it stayed here?
I think one of the reasons was because we were written off before the tournament. There was no pressure on us, although we were the hosts of the tournament. People had written us off. People, as somebody alluded to earlier, we were known as the 4x4s. We were losing 4-0 to every team in Africa. So there was no pressure on us. But the players themselves put pressure on themselves to go out and show that we weren't the laughingstock of African football. And I think that was one of the driving moments, along with the obvious Madiba magic, because for us,
but the
that
team was
important.
consistent. You know, Clive, when you sit in the meeting and you're going to decide the lineup, there's one thing that he said that I keep in my mind. He says, the team selects itself, guys. Where do you want to change? Because you always went with the last performance and you tweak a few things based on the opposition, but that team was consistent. You could almost predict what the Bafana lineup was going to be, and that was a key factor in my view.
I mean, we all knew it in our sleep. We knew exactly who was going to play. And your contribution, gentlemen, was vital. Glyn, we need to talk here, because I'm sure viewers who are saying, can I please, I'll do anything, I'll deposit the EFT, I'll whatever for one of these jerseys. Are they available?
We can negotiate afterwards, because you realize I'm now an agent. So.
No, I know you're an agent now, even for jerseys an agent. Thank you very much to Glyn Binkin, Dr. Ramathesele. I love the stories, and your contribution in 1996 was vital. As much as there was the contribution on the pitch, without you guys behind the scenes making sure it ran smooth, we couldn't have done it. And thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Happy 20th anniversary to the two gentlemen as well, and to you, South Africa.